Alrighty, I think we're live, guys. I think we're live. Let me check real quick, though. Just make sure. Yes, we are live. It's Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks, guys. It's a big slate tonight. 11 games. So this is going to be a fun one. We're going to answer some questions like we always do. So, of course, if you have any questions on certain props you want my opinion on, you can ask those, throw those in chat, and we'll get them answered. But I'm definitely going to be paying attention to some starting lineups, some injury news over the next hour or so. We do have two tacos up right now. We have a taco on Cooper Flagg's points. I've already used that, so we can't use that for this stream at least. But then we also have a taco on Kevin Durant's points, and we're definitely going to use that one. I'm going to have at least like probably one or two plays I'll give out on stream that will pair with that taco. So let's go ahead and pull up PrizePicks, get it ready. And yeah, let me see. I want to hit on some injuries real quick before we start answering some questions. So for today's slate, it is 11 games. I thought we were going to have like a lot of injury news. We actually really don't have a ton of injury news to keep an eye on right now. But some of the big ones that we're definitely looking for are at least like on stream, that we'll get on stream. So Tyler Hero is questionable, and that's a big one. Because if Tyler Hero's out, the Heat already don't have Norman Powell, they don't have Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Ware is out. They're very shorthanded, and it's a great matchup against the Wizards. You know, a lot of, so Bam Adebayo's lines are really hot today just because of Hero questionable, Khalil Ware out. Don't know if I would be betting any Bam overs, but I would definitely be looking at some overs on some of these secondary guys, like Davion Mitchell. I was looking at his fantasy score at 22.5. If Hero gets ruled out, I kind of like Mitchell 22.5 fantasy score. I think Jaime Jaquez gets a good boost if Mitchell's out, or if Hero's out. I was looking at his 23.5 points and assist. I think that's a good look. Obviously, matchup's great. He'll come off the bench, but he's going to have a big role off the bench. He's going to do a lot of ball handling, in the second unit. So I was looking at that, his points and assist, and then Myron Gardner. I was looking at his PRA at 16.5 because he's a guy that should be in line to start, most likely play more minutes. He's not been like a super productive player when given minutes, but obviously the matchup's incredible. You take out Hero, Wiggins, Powell. There's just so much usage and so many minutes available. So I'd be looking at some overs on those guys. And if you want to have them like preloaded in your slip, ready to go, that makes sense. And then the other one that's really important is from Milwaukee. So Bobby Portis and Jericho Sims are both questionable for the Bucks. If they both get ruled out, that is really good for Miles Turner. Now, Miles Turner has been fucking terrible lately. He's not been doing anything. He's not really playing a lot of minutes. But if they don't have Portis and if they don't have Sims too, Miles Turner is going to have to play like 25 to 30 minutes, you would think. So all these props on Miles Turner would be way too low. Like 9.5 points looks great. 22.5 fantasy score looks great. 15.5 PRA looks great. I would be running to bet Miles Turner overs if Portis and Sims are both out. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one. I think there could be some really good value on those lines. Also, I think Ousmane Dieng would get a little bit of a boost as well, just because there would be more minutes available at the forwards position. So like 19.5 fantasy score for Ousmane Dieng. Really like that if there's no Portis and Sims. So we've got two kind of situations we're keeping an eye on with Tyler Hero and with the Bucks guys. That's pretty much it, though, in terms of injury news that I'm monitoring. There's some other little questionable tags, but like nothing that's going to be super impactful for player props at least. But I will definitely be keeping an eye on those injury news, those tags. We did just get some Memphis news. Walter Clayton is out for Memphis today. So Memphis, they've got a good amount of players available. Yesterday they only had like 8 available players, but today they have, even with Clayton out, they still have I think 10 available players. I gave out an under on GG Jackson today in my Patreon. We got some really good value on that line. That line bumped down 4 points, so feel really good about that one. Memphis is still going to be pretty, deep today. They still got a lot of guys, so I don't think Clayton getting ruled out really matters at all. But that did just come out. But yeah, guys, if you got questions, get those thrown in chat. We'll get them answered, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on some injury news here over the next 35, 40 minutes. So right now, the plan is for this KD taco. The plan is to wait for some injury news and then find a couple plays and throw those in with the taco. That's my plan. If things don't go that way, though, I have a couple plays I'll put with the taco. So we'll definitely give out a strip or a slip before the stream ends. I don't know when the slip will be. Just kind of stay tuned, but we'll give out at least one slip for this KD taco. I see Logan's in chat, says, let's go, Logan. Let's go, my man. Michael's in chat, says he just got off work, smoking a J. Let's get this bread. Let's get it, Michael. Let's get it, baby. Hope you guys were in the stream yesterday. We gave out a winner yesterday. The play that we gave out, it wasn't available for very long. It got taken off the board, but if you caught it, the Jalen Williams PRA, Cameron Payne PRA, we gave that out at the beginning of the stream yesterday. That cashed. So let's see if we can run it back, man. Let's see if we can find another winner today. Openly Opinionated says, what's up, bro? How are you? I'm doing well, my man. I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing well, too. It's a big slate, man. I'm excited for this one. Hopefully we can find some good plays tonight. Logan's asking about Jason Tatum PRA. We can take a look at Jason Tatum PRA. Hold on, let me do this real quick. So, Logan, I know you're in the Patreon. I know a good amount of you guys are probably in the Patreon as well. I did take an over on Jason Tatum today. I took his over fantasy score. His PRA, I believe that line's 30.5. Yeah, 30.5. I definitely liked his fantasy score more. His fantasy score was only 3 points higher than his PRA. And typically, Tatum's a guy that, like, he can get some steals and blocks. He doesn't turn the ball over too much. At 30.5 PRA, though, I don't mind the over here either. I think the matchup for Tatum against the Spurs, on paper, is probably not the best. But really what it comes down to is just the minutes are starting to maybe trim back up for Tatum. So in his first game, back from injury, he played 27 minutes in a game they won by 20. And then last game against Cleveland, he played 27 minutes. You look at his PRA. So his PRA was 22.5 against Dallas. You know, that was his first game back from injury. Last game, it shot up to 30.5. So clearly the market, was upped his lines a lot, maybe expecting him to play more minutes. He wound up playing the same amount of minutes he did in his first game. I think tonight he could definitely get like 28 to 30 minutes. It's a big game against the Spurs. It's a close spread. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Tatum play some extra minutes here. Maybe they're keeping him at like 27 minutes. Maybe he's just going to play like 27, 28 minutes for a while, but I think there's a chance he does get his minutes upped here. Obviously, we don't really have a lot of stats on Tatum for this. I mean, we only have a 2-game sample, and you can't really look at Tatum's stats from last year because, last year he was playing full minutes. But I bet if you look at games last season when he was playing like less than 30 minutes, I mean, he still probably got a pretty good hit rate on this PRA. I mean, last season when he played at least less than 30 minutes, he still went over 30.5 PRA in 4 out of 5 games. But again, that was last season. He was fully healthy. He's working his way back from injury, but I was surprised to see Tatum's lines not higher than they were. I think this is a spot where his minutes could get upped a little bit in a more kind of more competitive game. This should be one where hopefully it comes down to the wire. It's a close spread, and you see a lot of the starters playing big minutes. Tatum hopefully included there. Jason Thompson says, yo, what's up, Jason? What's up, man? Cash says Kuminga's out. Yeah, Jonathan Kuminga did get ruled out. For props, at least, I don't think that really matters or makes too much of a difference. We did take an over on Onyeka Okongwu, so I think that's a little bit better now that Kuminga's out. Austin Reeves Fantasy, you think LeBron is out? I don't know about LeBron. Like, LeBron's a player that typically I feel like he plays through questionable tags, but he's been questionable like the last 2 games, and he's missed the last 2 games. So, I don't know. It is a national TV game against the Timberwolves. It's a big game, so maybe this is the day LeBron comes back. The Lakers, let's see. The Lakers play again on Thursday at home against the Bulls. So it's not a back-to-back or anything. Like, I think LeBron plays tonight, but I'm not confident in that. Reeves' lines are a little bit inflated with LeBron questionable. So I don't know if I would want to bet any overs there. Because I think last game, his fantasy score was like 31.5. And then when LeBron got ruled out, I think it bumped up to like 35.5. So they've kind of already bumped up the lines a little bit on these Lakers guys. That's one where if you've got a good feel on it, like if you think LeBron's not playing, then yeah, you could take those Reeves overs. Reeves has been struggling this year, and especially as of late. Really not this year, but as of late. But he's starting to kind of get back in rhythm. He's been working his way back from injury. He looked pretty good last game. I watched a lot of that game. So I don't mind that if you think LeBron's out. I don't have a good feel there, though. I think LeBron could play tonight. After how you started yesterday, I was scared today. More like alert. Hero, I wonder, is he out? And LeBron. Yeah, we'll see on Hero. He was downgraded to questionable earlier today. Typically, when a player gets downgraded to questionable during the afternoon, that's typically a sign they're not going to play. Also, they're playing the Wizards. Like, this is a game they can easily win, even without Hero. So I feel like Hero doesn't play, but I'm not super confident there. We'll, kind of wait and see. We should get that news on Hero in like 15 minutes, I think, because that game starts at 7, I believe. Let's see. Or it starts at 7:30. So we'll probably, we'll get it at some point during this stream. You like Scotty Barnes over 13.5 field goal attempts? Let's look at that one on Scotty Barnes. Definitely don't like the matchup against Houston, but we can take a look at his field goal attempts. His field goal, I can't remember, does Props Madness? Okay, they have free throw attempts. They don't have field goal attempts. Let's just look at like his points, because you can look at field goal attempts. So like his last 10 games, he's averaging about 13.5 field goal attempts. Let's look at games this year with, with Brandon Ingram, with RJ Barrett, with Quickly. With all the main 3 guys, averaging 14.2 field goal attempts. Jakob Poeltl is questionable. I don't think that really matters too much for Barnes, whether he's in or out. I feel like 13.5 is probably a good line on Barnes' field goal attempts. The matchup's not great. If you're betting field goal attempts, or if you're betting an over, you kind of want like a fast-paced game where there's going to be more possessions and more shot attempts, and I don't know if that's going to be this, because you look at the Rockets, I mean, they're the second slowest paced team in the league, so this could be kind of a lower scoring game. Don't love that one on Barnes' field goal attempts, but that's just my opinion there. It could still hit, I guess. But that line feels pretty good to me. How you feel about Pele Larson over PRA? I got it at 19.5 last night. Now it's up to 21.5. Definitely like that if Tyler Hero's out, because Tyler Hero's questionable. If Tyler Hero plays, that line might bump down a point, but at 19.5, you definitely got some good value there for sure. And obviously, if Hero sits, that's going to look even better. Devin Vassell over 6 RA. Look at Vassell's RA. I typed in Devin ass. Devin Vassell 6 RA. So if his line's at 6, that's got to be a PrizePicks line. Yeah, that's a PrizePicks line. DraftKings has him at 6.5, juice to the under. Most looks like the sportsbooks are favoring the under on 6.5. His line's at 6 on PrizePicks though. Let's move this down to 5.5. So, I mean, this season he's got a pretty good hit rate on 6 RA. He's at least pushed or gone over that line in 37 out of 52 games. Like I said earlier, this game against the Celtics should be a competitive game. So, like, this is a spot where you would think Vassell's probably playing good minutes. When he plays at least like 28 minutes, I mean, 78% hit rate on his RA. 30 minutes, he's at 78% hit rate. I think the reason the line's a little bit lower is because of the matchup. You look at the Celtics this year, assist allowed. They're top 10, not giving up assists. Top 10, not giving up rebounds. Against his dominant assist zone, where he gets a lot of his assists, the Celtics don't give up any points in that area, the restricted area. And that's where a lot of Vassell's assists come from. Celtics play at the slowest pace in the league, so that's not good for rebounds or assists. So I get why the line is set at 6, even though you see a lot of green lately. I would still lean the over there, but the matchup does scare me. Like, I don't think it's a great spot for Vassell to get rebounds and assists just because of how good Boston is defensively and how good they are at limiting assists and rebounds. Celtic team, what do you think of White over 8.5 rebounds and assists? So we can look at Derek White. I'm sure if you look at Derek White's like season-long hit rate on this line, it's probably going to look pretty good. But again, we got to factor in Jason Tatum's back. I will say though that Peyton Pritchard is out today for Boston, so that definitely opens up more ball handling duties, and I think they might stagger Derek White into the second unit. So like he might be like the primary ball handler in the second unit now, when typically like that's Pritchard's duties. So I think there's more assist upside here for Derek White. Rebound wise, I don't think it's like a great rebounding spot against the Spurs, who are pretty good on the glass. But no Pritchard, I think, does help. I don't think Pritchard's missed a game this year. Okay, Pritchard has missed one game this year, and Derek White had 12 assists on 13 potential assists in that game. Now, Jason Tatum didn't play in that game, but I do like White's assist upside here without Pritchard. What's his assist line at? His assist line's at 5.5, juice to the under. I mean, if you got him at 8.5 RA, is that what you said, 8.5? If you got him at 8.5, I mean, that's pretty good because all the sports books are favoring the over on 8.5. Some sites have him at 9.5. So that was definitely a solid look. If you bet that before Pritchard got ruled out, yeah, you got some good value there. Jonathan says he just woke up. He's ready to cash. Hey, hopefully we can find some winners tonight, Jonathan. What's up, Noah? I paired the stream play with the Paul Skeens Taco, made $50, paid my phone bill. Love to hear that, man. Love to hear that. Jonathan says he cashed $300. Love to hear that. Let's go. Great read last night. Please do it again. I'm going to try, man. I'm going to try. Still waiting for this news on Hero. My phone's been dinging, but it's NFL notifications. But yeah, we're still waiting for Hero news. Again, I'm keeping an eye on that. If you guys want to have it ready, if Hero does get ruled out, I think what I would bet would be Jaime Jaquez, points and assists at 23.5, and Myron Gardner. I can't decide if I want to go with Gardner or Davion Mitchell. I think I'm going to go Gardner. I think Gardner really benefits if Hero's out. If Hero gets ruled out, I would bet either PRA or PR. Maybe go PR. His PRA was 15.5. It came up, and his PR was 15.5. That went down. So since they bumped up PRA, bumped down PR, I would take PR. I'm not submitting this yet, so don't submit this yet. But if Hero gets ruled out, have this ready. Have this ready. That's Jaquez 23 PA, and then Gardner 14.5 PR. And then I'm pairing it with the KD Taco if Hero sits, which, again, we should get that news soon. What's good, Noah? We're going to find some winners during the stream, I believe. I hope so, Sandman. I hope so. What's up, Noah? What do you think about Booker over 2.5 demon threes against a terrible Bucks perimeter defense? Let's look at that one. I know the Bucks have been a team that's given up a lot of threes this year, so the matchup should be good for threes. We look at Milwaukee this season. Catch and shoot. Booker, a lot of Booker's threes, like, he's not a big catch and shoot guy. He kind of creates his own shot, but Milwaukee does give up a lot of catch and shoot. It's definitely a good spot for, like, Royce O'Neal to get up some threes because he's a big catch and shoot guy. But, I mean, you can see a lot of Booker's threes are coming from above the break, and, you know, that's where Milwaukee's really struggled with it. They've struggled defending that shooting zone, third worst in the league. You're getting it at plus money. Like you said, it's a demon on PrizePicks. I don't hate that. Has he played Milwaukee this year? He has not played Milwaukee this year, but this should be a good spot for him to get some threes up. Let's look at when he faces favorable matchups against teams that give up threes to his position. So against teams that give up threes to his position, I mean, he is over this line in 7 out of 18 games, which is solid. That's solid. Okay, we got where Taurean Prince is expected to play, but that's not impactful. Got excited there for a second. Still no word, though, on Portis and Sims. Still waiting on those. But yeah, when Booker faces teams that give up threes to his position, I mean, he's got an okay hit rate on this line. Let's look at some of the attempts in these games. I mean, he shot 1 for 7, 2 for 5, 1 for 5, 1 for 5, 1 for 4. So a lot of these games he went under were kind of like just like poor shooting. I don't hate Booker threes at plus money. Again, like on PrizePicks, taking the demon lines, those are not going to give you the best payouts, but I get, you know, if you're taking those, you probably don't have access to a sportsbook. But if you have access to sportsbooks and you're going to bet that, I would bet it like on FanDuel where you're getting the best odds. How you feel about Jeremy Grant? I mean, what prop on Jeremy Grant? You got to ask a prop. Kata's going to have a play a lot with Celtics playing against Wemby and no Vooch. I do agree with that. I think the matchup's pretty bad for Kata, but last game without Vooch, he played like a ton of minutes. He wasn't very productive, but he played 36 minutes last game without Vooch. I don't know if he plays that much, but like I bet if you look at Kata's like PR when he gets at least 30 minutes, he's probably got some good hit rates. I mean, yeah, averaging 20 PR when he gets at least 30 minutes. But like you see all the red here. You know, it's not a good matchup for Kata. He scores a lot of his points in the restricted area and within, you know, less than 10 feet, and that's where the Spurs are very good because of, you know, Wemby's rim protection. Oh, you asked about Jeremy Grant points. Okay, we can take a look at that one. Let's see. So the Blazers still don't have Shaedon Sharpe, but they do have Denny Avdia back. So I want to look at games for Jeremy Grant. Let's see, on the season with Denny, with Drew, and then without Shaden Sharp. So he's played 5 games without Sharp and then with Denny and Drew. He's averaging 15 points per game, over in 2 out of 5. Matchup against Charlotte, like I don't love. Charlotte's defensively been solid this year. A lot of Jeremy Grant's points come from spot up. The Hornets are top 5 defending spot up. They defend all of his dominant play types pretty well. The only thing they struggle with is against pick and roll ball handlers, but that's not where Jeremy Grant really gets a lot of his points. So don't love that on Jeremy Grant. Don't love that over points. Don't love that one. Do I like the KD taco? I mean, it's a 7-point discount, so I'm going to take it. If it doesn't hit, then oh well, but I mean, I'm always going to take a big discount like that. If you're skeptical, then you could take the under on his original line. You like Scoot Henderson fantasy score and Brandon Williams fantasy score? So Scoot, with Denny back, like I'm a little skeptical, just because I don't think his role is going to be as good. He's had some good, he had a good game last game, but that was like a really good matchup against the Pacers. This feels like a spot where Scoot could struggle against like a really good defense. I feel like Scoot is one of these players that does really well against bad defenses and then really struggles against the good defensive teams. And Charlotte's been pretty good defensively, so I don't love this spot for Scoot. 22.5 fantasy feels like a pretty good line on him. We could probably look at his games, but Scoot's been on a minutes restriction for a lot of the year, so you can't really he hasn't played much this year anyway. But he did get up to 26 minutes last game. He's typically been in the low 20s. But yeah, I don't love the matchup for Scoot. I feel like this is a spot where he could maybe struggle. But then the Brandon Williams fantasy, I do kind of like that. I think the matchup's good for Brandon Williams. I think there's a chance that if it's a blowout, that he might play garbage time. And he's typically a productive player when he gets minutes. He doesn't have to play a lot to go over 21.5 fantasy. I know, Cooper Flagg's back now, playing more minutes, so, Williams probably is not getting as many minutes as he was before. A lot of these games were, without Flagg or Middleton or somebody. Now that everybody's healthy, we saw last game he only played 19 minutes. But even in, 19, 20 minutes, I mean, he could still go over that fantasy line. And if the game's a blowout, he could play extra, more minutes than maybe you would project. So definitely don't mind the one on Brandon Williams. I don't hate that. His PRA, I think, is 17.5. I don't hate that fantasy line on Williams. Another NFL notification, man. I got to turn those off. Tatum over 15.5 field goal attempts. How many attempts did Tatum has he had this year? So the usage rate for Tatum's been pretty good in these 2 games. 30% usage, 16 field goal attempts. First game shot 16 times. Last game shot 16 times. I don't hate that. I mean, his points prop in his first game back from injury was 14.5. Then last game it was 18.5. Tonight it's 19.5. You would think if he's scoring 20 points, he's probably taking more than, 15 shots. Unless he's super, super efficient, which he could be. I don't hate that on Tatum points. I see he has gone over that line, though, in both of his games this year. Just barely. Really, I think it's just how many minutes is Tatum going to play. Is he going to play more than 27, or is he going to play 27 again? I think he plays 29, 30. I could see them upping his minutes a little bit in a game like this that's should be a competitive game. I just put 2 players from the Sixers, one for Kuminga. Is that a DMP? Yes. So if you have 2 players on the same team with a player that's a DMP, that's an automatic refund. So yeah, you should just cancel that entry if PrizePicks didn't cancel it already for you. Subscan, I answered the White rebounds and assist. Dyson assist. We can look at Dyson's assist. I want to say his ball handling role has not been as strong since they got CJ McCollum. Let me see. So since they got CJ, he's averaged 6 assists per game, over in 12 out of 22 games, so just over a 50% hit rate. Averaging 10 potential assists. He is heavily favored for over 5.5 assists, so I guess if you got him at 5.5, if you got that on PrizePicks, I mean, that was a good bet. If you're going to bet that on a sports book, I would definitely take it on like DraftKings where you're getting the best odds. I feel like 5.5 is a good line though on Dyson's assist. I don't think I'd be taking his over 6 on PrizePicks. Since CJ's joined the team, like his ball handling role has not been as good. Assist numbers have not been as strong either. Just concerns me a little bit. The matchup for assist though should be a pretty good one, especially with this Sixers team. They're playing the Mavs. I don't know why I thought they were playing the Sixers. This Mavs team defensively, I mean, they've not been great this year. Where I think defensive rating, they're like bottom 10 in defensive rating. They play at a fast pace, so like that's all good for assist, at least. Surprised you didn't look at Amen Fantasy today. It's because the Raptors defense is good. Yeah, Raptors good defense. Projection was pretty good, pretty accurate. Amen's definitely a guy that I've played a lot of overs on this year, and he's cashed a lot for me. But I'm always looking at the number. Like, if his line would have been 34.5, I probably would have played it. I think the line was 37.5, though. That felt like a good line to me in the matchup. His line did bump up a little bit. But, yeah, I thought that was a good line, given the spot. I think the KD Taco, yeah, I think the KD Taco's good. How many Hawkins over 29 PRA if Hero's out? I do like that. I like his PA a little bit more, but I think PRA is a good look, too. You like Jaylen Brown over 5.5 assists? I saw that's a popular play on PrizePicks today. I'm skeptical on that one, just with Tatum back. I think there could be a, not as big of a ball handling role for Jaylen Brown, but again, they don't have Peyton Pritchard tonight. So maybe, Brown picks up more ball handling without Pritchard. In these 2 games with Tatum, he's had 8 assists on 12 potentials, 7 assists on 14 potentials. He's had 37 passes made in those games, which that's close to his season average, I believe. It's a little bit less than his season average. Or no, it's right around his season average. I mean, if you're going to take that 5.5 assist demon line on PrizePicks, like, you're probably not going to get the payout that you should be getting for it. I get why people like that. It's one that I'm a little iffy on, though, just because I think with Tatum back, that does, lower Brown's assist upside. I mean, you can look at the 2 games that Tatum played in. Brown's assist line closed at 4.5 in both of those games. Now, obviously, Pritchard played in those games. Pritchard's out today. Does Pritchard being out, project Brown for a full assist more? Maybe. I don't know. Let me see. What did he have in that one game without Pritchard? So in that one game without Pritchard, he only had 6 potential assists. So Derek White had the big ball handling duty in that game. Obviously, that's just a 1-game sample, but noteworthy, I guess. I think 5.5 is a good line on Brown. I mean, I don't think I'd be betting that over or under. Just one I'd stay away from. Seen a lot of questions about Derek White. Derek White over 3-point attempts. Derek White points and rebounds. I mean, without Pritchard, like, maybe White picks up a little bit of usage. These games with Tatum, I want to say, so he's at a 21%. Let's see. This year, White's at a 22.4% usage rate. In the games with Tatum, his usage has gone way down. So that's a little concerning. That's definitely concerning. It's only a 2-game sample, so I don't want to overreact. But like in these 2 games with Tatum, White has definitely taken a step back in terms of usage. So that's a little concerning. His points and rebounds is at 20.5. I mean, that feels like a good line to me. This concerns me, though, right here. This concerns me. Just like if White's going to continue to have a lower usage rate, I would be a little skeptical betting, just running to bet his overs. I want to say he's historically, when he's played with Tatum, he's historically taken kind of a step back. So not in love with the Derek White overs tonight, at least. Sixers starting lineup: Edgecombe, Grimes, Oubre, Barlow, and Bona. So that's as expected. Still waiting for some Tyler Hero news. Don't know when we're going to get that. Still waiting. Feel like Tatum will do great on the PRA. I prefer his fantasy score on PrizePicks at 33.5, which is what I gave out to Patreon members today. At 30.5 PRA, that's okay. I don't hate that, but would have preferred the fantasy score if you could have played that on PrizePicks at least. I know not everyone in here, though, plays on PrizePicks. Jalen Wells over 19 fantasy. His PRA is at 17.5. Yeah, Wells is one of those players that like his PRA and fantasy are typically going to be pretty close together because he doesn't really get any steals and blocks. So 19 fantasy is probably a good line on Wells, honestly. Maybe it should be like 20, 19.5, but like I don't think that's like an error or anything. Wells is one of those players again that those lines are going to be close together for the most part. What about VJ fantasy? I mean, VJ should have a really big role. He should play big minutes, too. His line was at 36.5 earlier today. I was actually debating giving that out as an under. I wound up not doing it. He is coming back from injury. I don't think the injury that he had was, like, super... it wasn't anything major. I think he only missed, like, 1 game or 2 games, maybe. He's not on a minutes limit. Obviously, there's no Maxey. There's no Embiid. I don't know if we've seen... Has Edgecombe played without Maxey and Embiid this year? I don't think he has. No. So we haven't really seen Edgecombe play without Maxey and Embiid yet. Maybe he's like the alpha. Like, maybe he's the guy that just really soaks up the usage, takes a lot of the shots, does a lot of the ball handling. It could be that. Given where his lines are set at, though, the books are already kind of setting some high lines on Edgecombe, so I'm kind of just staying away there. Again, I was actually debating taking unders on Edgecombe, but decided not to. How do you feel about the Cooper Flag Taco? 14.5 points. I mean, it's good. I took it. Like I said, guys, the tacos, you're getting what? 6-point discount for Flag's points, 7-point discount on KD's points. If they don't hit, oh well. But in the end, these are going to be plays you want to be taking. Like they have, the odds of those hitting are drastically better than, if you were taking them at their original line. The odds of them, going over this line are much, much greater than like if you were to take their under on their original line. You could middle it. You could do both sides. You could take under 20.5 and over 14.5. And if he finishes with, 15 to 19, you could hit both. But I pretty much play every taco for the most part. You like Jaylen Brown over 6.5 rebounds? That's another one where I feel like Brown's rebounds, his upside, his rebound potential is not as great when he's playing with Tatum because Tatum's just, an aggressive rebounder. Oh, damn. Tyrese Maxey's going to be out 3 weeks, man. Fuck. I'm going to the Sixers-Hornets game in 2 weeks, so I'm not going to get to see Maxey play. That sucks. Damn. Well, that's annoying. But yeah, Brown... This year, let's see. I mean, the 2 games he's played with Tatum, his rebound numbers have still been good. But, last year, let's see. Last year, when he played with Tatum, I want to say his rebound numbers were not great. I mean, he averaged 5.9 rebounds per game. Brown's definitely been more aggressive rebounding the ball this year. But historically, with Tatum, his rebounding numbers have definitely taken a hit. So it's 6.5 against a pretty good Spurs rebounding team. A team that's good on the glass. I'm not a big fan of it personally. The hit rate looks good, but again, so many of these games were without Tatum, so I just kind of take it with a grain of salt. Also, it looks like the market's kind of favoring the under. FanDuel minus 128 to the under. Caesars minus 137. DraftKings minus 123. Under looks better, honestly, than the over. Just based off the market. Jonathan said no audio. Audio should be good. Yeah, audio should be good. How do you like the assists? 5.5 for Jaylen Brown. Again, with Tatum back, I'm skeptical on that one. Maybe Peyton Pritchard being out maybe really helps Brown's assist potential. I think that could be good for Derek White's assist potential more than Brown's. But yeah, the 5.5 assist on Brown, I'm not touching that. I think it's a good line. I don't really like the over or the under there. Bono rebounds, maybe PR. Soft matchup, should be getting minutes in a close game. Yeah, without Embiid, I mean, the minutes should be there for Bono. They do still have Andre Drummond, but if we look at the games without Embiid this year, Bono has averaged 12 PR per game. He's averaged 21 minutes per game. A lot of these games, though, Bono was not starting, but he is starting now. So, if you look at games without Embiid when he plays at least, 24 minutes, I mean, he's averaging about 16 PR per game. Pretty good hit rate. Some of these games were tough matchups too. Cleveland, Toronto, Orlando. Tonight they face the Grizzlies, which is a great matchup for centers. I don't hate it on Bona, looking at some overs there. 15.5 PR, 16.5 PRA, 6.5 rebounds looks okay. 8.5 points. Yeah, I don't mind that PR at 15.5. I don't mind that. If he gets the minutes, he should be productive in this matchup for sure. LOL, gotta laugh when so many people ask what Noah feels about some random player prop. He's showing you what he thinks are the best bets. I mean, that's kind of what I'm here for, is to give my thoughts on a prop. At the end of the day, you know, whoever's asking about a prop, at the end of the day, they're going to decide if they want to bet it or not. But I'm sure there will be times when somebody asks me about a prop, I'll say I don't like it, they don't bet it, it still hits, you know. There could be times when they ask me if I like a prop, I say don't bet it, they do bet it, and then it loses. Like, it'll go both ways. But yeah, that's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to answer questions, to help you guys out. And of course, you know, give out some slips too. Which, we're still waiting for news on Tyler Hero. We don't have that yet. Let me go ahead and preload these props again. I was going to have these ready in case Hero does get ruled out. Going to have those ready. Brandon says, "What up, game? What's up, Brandon? You like Bona rebounds? I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it. I probably look at his PR first. I think PR could be a better look because it should be, you know, Memphis gives up so many points like in the paint and the restricted area that it could definitely be a spot where Bona is able to get like a lot of offensive rebounds and putbacks. But yeah, even his rebounds, I don't mind. It's a great matchup for Bona. It really just comes down to like how many minutes does he get. But he should be productive in this spot. Scoot Henderson under fantasy. I don't hate that. Like I said earlier, I think Scoot's one of those guys that he struggles. He could struggle against like tougher defenses, and against the bad defensive teams, that's when he tends to play well. Like he had a really good game against the Pacers, but that's a bad defensive team. Tonight they play Charlotte, really good defensive team. Wouldn't be surprised if Scoot does struggle here. And, you know, the Blazers are pretty much getting back to full strength. They got Drew healthy, Denny's healthy. They don't have Shaedon Sharpe, but what do you think of Austin Reeves over 4 assists? That probably has a lot to do, like, on if LeBron plays or not. Because I feel like Reeves' assist numbers are going to take a pretty big spike if LeBron's out. So let's look at games with LeBron. So with LeBron, he's averaging 3.9 assists. Without, he's averaging 7.7. Good Lord. I mean, that's almost like, if you think LeBron's out, just go ahead and bet it. If you think LeBron plays, I probably wouldn't touch it. But, I mean, you can see without LeBron, very good hit rate on Reeves' assist. In the last 2 games without LeBron, he's had 5 assists, 5 potentials, 5 assists, 11 potentials. Man, that's definitely like, if I could sports bet, I would definitely like have like a Reeves over assist ready to go at plus money. Because like if LeBron gets ruled out, that's going to be a pretty good bet at plus money. Okay, Jakob Poeltl did get ruled out for the Raptors, but I don't. Do they have props on Mamu Kalashvili? They don't. Yeah, those would have been really good if they had props on Mamu without Poeltl. That would have been good, but they don't. Does Sleeper have props up for Mamu? They probably don't. No. The books always know. They hid us. They hid the props from us. What about Brandon Miller over 29.5 PRA? Look at Brandon Miller's PRA. Definitely want to look at games with all the guys healthy. So with LaMelo, with Con, and with Miles Bridges. So with LaMelo, Con, and Miles Bridges, his hit rate on 29.5 PRA is not great. We can look at more into the matchup. So definitely like to see this. Blazers are struggling against pick-and-roll ball handlers, which is where 20% of Brandon Miller's points come from. They're struggling in transition. That's where 14% of his points come from. They give up free throws. That's where 14% of his points come from. So that's all good. This is solid. 30% of his points coming from pull-up. Blazers second worst, giving up pull-up points. So that's good. This we don't like to see. 46% of his points coming from above the break threes, and the Blazers top 10 defending that shooting zone. So there's some positives. There's also some negatives for Brandon Miller. If you can get him at 29.5, where FanDuel has him, that's better. At 30.5, though, I don't like that as much. The hit rate on that PRA, with all those guys healthy, is not great. Okay, we just got the Grizzlies starting lineup. Cedric Coward starting over GG. So that's good for our GG under. He's not starting. Do they have props up for Cedric Coward? They do. I mean, you can maybe bet some Cedric Coward overs since he's starting, but just because he's starting, I don't think that means he's going to play like a ton of minutes because Memphis already spreads out the minutes so much. I would say, Coward probably projects for like 2 more minutes. GG probably projects for like 2 less minutes. So, I don't think I'd bet anything there. But, now that GG's starting, I definitely feel good about the under. I mean, we took GG under 30.5 fantasy, and his line's 26.5 now, so definitely feel good about that one. You like Will Riley under fantasy, Şengün fantasy? I feel like this is a bounce back spot. So for Will Riley, I want to say even when the Wizards have been like tanking and trying to lose, they've still been playing Will Riley like big minutes. Let me see. What has his minutes been like? So last 10 games, he's at 26 minutes. The last few games, he's been at 25, 25, 33, 33, 35. See, if he gets like over 30 minutes, I wouldn't feel good about the under there. But the Wizards are a team, like, you just never know what they're going to do. They can play so many guys, spread out the minutes. But Will Riley has been one of their guys that, like, his minutes have been pretty secure. You could lean on the under there. I don't love it, though. Because if he does play over 30 minutes, I'm not going to feel good about that under. And then Şengün fantasy, I don't know if it's a bounce back spot for Şengün. The Raptors are pretty good defensively. I will say Poeltl being out probably makes it a better matchup for Şengün, I would guess, without Poeltl. But like if we look at the Raptors this year, they're really good defending the paint. That's where 33% of Şengün's points come from. They don't give up a lot of post-up points. That's where Şengün does score his most of his points from. Within 10 feet, they're above league average, they don't give up a lot of points within 10 feet. So I don't know if it's like the best matchup for Şengün. You can see a lot of red over here when you look at the matchup stats. 6th best, limiting PRA to his position. 7th best, limiting points to his dominant play type. Top 10, limiting points in the paint. Top 10 defensive rating. Top 10 slowest pace. I feel like 41.5 is a good line on Şengün. Brandon says 82 people in here, only 11 likes. Y'all press the button, get the damn likes up in here. This man's going out of his way to give us game, at least like the damn video. Yeah, like the stream, guys. Okay, Tyler Hero did just get ruled out. I would bet this slip right now. Did y'all get it in? Jaime, 23.5 PA. Myron Gardner, 14.5 PR. Pair that with the KD taco. You should have had it ready. I told you guys to have it ready. They just pulled Jaime. They just pulled Gardner. That was quick. Did anyone get that in? Damn, PrizePicks was ready for that one. They probably pulled, I'm sure they pulled all the Heat props. Yeah, they're pulling all the Heat props. Sandman says he got it in. Okay. Logan says he got it in. So good. Good deal. If you have it ready, you should be able to get it. But if you're trying to like scramble and put stuff in, like you're not going to get it. But that's why you want to have those already preloaded. So it looks like 4 or 5 people. Northeast Pursuit, he got it. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Yeah, Memphis starting Jerome, Coward, Wells, Hendricks, Prosper. Feel good about that GG under now. He's not starting. The next thing, Anthony says his app lagged. Yeah, the app can sometimes do that. If you guys have a computer, I would definitely say be on a computer because like computers are not going to be as laggy. But Yeah, the app can do that sometimes. It's very annoying. But the next thing we could do is have this ready. I don't know if we're going to get this news on stream, but if we do, if Jericho Sims and Bobby Portis are both out, these are two really good plays. For Turner, I don't know if I want to go PRA, PR, points. I think I'd probably go points. Like, for him to get 22.5 fantasy, he's probably got to score 10 points. I would think. Maybe we'll just go fantasy just because he has blocks steal upside. So let's wait. I don't know if we're going to get it on stream. We're probably not. But if Jericho Sims and Bobby Portis are out, this is a really good slip too. Obviously, I already used the KD taco. I've already used the flag taco. But if you guys could still play it, you could do that. So if you want to have that preloaded, definitely would say have that ready. I don't know if we're going to get that news anytime soon, though. So you might have to have your notifications on after I get off stream. You guys should all, if you don't already, you should have injury notifications on. Go follow Underdog NBA on Twitter. Turn on notifications for their account so you can get notified every time a player gets ruled out. And Underdog's very quick with the notifications. Like, I'm pretty sure all the sites, the sports books, the DFS sites, PrizePicks, they're going to adjust their notifications. Like, they're going to adjust their board based off of Underdog's tweets. So it's almost like a race. When Underdog tweets out something, it's like a race for everyone to, you're trying to get slips in. So, yeah, go follow them. You should be doing that already. He said he had it ready in his lineup, put 10 for 50. Let's hope it hits, man. Let's hope it hits. D-Man says he got Jaime in. I have unabated, so I got notifications about 30 to 45 seconds faster than Underdog. Yeah, unabated is good for notifications too, but I think you have to pay for unabated. They're not free. But yeah, if you're an unabated subscriber, that definitely is a boost too. That's a benefit. My stream was 10 seconds behind. I didn't know. I missed the slip. Damn. That's why it helps to have notifications on for yourself instead of relying on me. But it looks like most people at least said they were able to get that. I think that's going to be a pretty good slip. I mean, Jaime's line's probably going to go up at least a point or two. Same with Gardner. I'm assuming Gardner's going to start in place of Hero. I could be wrong, but I think he'll start. Better still has Jaime at 22 PA, 22.5 PA. I would definitely take that for sure if that's still available. Yeah, I would definitely take that. That's probably going to get pulled at some point. You took Sarr for 4 defensive rebounds. I like the matchup for rebounds. Miami definitely has been worse on the glass this year, but the only thing about Sarr is last game, it was his first game back from injury, and he was limited to 17 to 20 minutes. And I think he played like right around that number. That's my concern with Sarr, is like he's only going to probably play 20 minutes, 21, 22 minutes max. So that's my concern with that prop. The line's that low, for a reason, because he's on a pretty strict minutes limit right now. Billy said he had it in the chamber. As soon as you said Hero was ruled out, PrizePicks froze on me, completely froze. Yeah, that's why I hate the app sometimes. For me, at least, I seem to be able to use the site better than the app. But I know not everybody has a computer, so I get that. But if you have a computer, I would definitely say, like, try and use a computer because it's not going to be as laggy. I really wonder, like, if PrizePicks does that on purpose. Like, when a player gets ruled out, if they purposely, like, lag the app. Because I feel like they could do that. Or maybe just when they're taking a bunch of props off the board, like, it just makes the app real laggy. It's possible. But I feel like it used to not be that way. Like, when players would get ruled out, the app wouldn't just start lagging. But now it does. So it's really weird. What do you think the Heat do with the backup 5? Jaime going to play some small ball 5? I doubt it. But I don't know what they're going to do without Khalil Ware. Because I don't think they have like maybe they have like a G League guy they called up or something to play center, but like they don't have like a backup center. They might play small ball. Like you said, they might play small ball. I don't know. This is a matchup where they could probably get away with it against the Wizards, playing small ball. Maybe they do. If they do play small ball and play Jaime at the 5, that's going to be good for his rebounding upside for sure. Yeah, I saw someone say the PrizePicks, the next taco's coming out soon. It'll probably come out in like 10 minutes, but I'm going to have to hop off stream in a minute here. My fiance got home like 10 minutes ago. She's cooking supper or dinner. So someone flamed me the other day for saying supper, so I got to say dinner now. But yeah, she's cooking dinner, so I can't be on here all night. But hopefully, if we do get this Milwaukee news, we'll definitely we'll have this ready to play. Phone goes off about 10 to 15 seconds slower than mine because of the stream, so definitely want to have your notifications on for yourself. Yeah, definitely. I think I have it set to where it's like, it should be really, like, no delay. It's supposed to be at least, but I know there's probably still some sort of a delay. But it might only be like 5 or 10 second delay. Maybe not even that. What's for dinner tonight? We're having butter chicken. We're having butter chicken, Caesar salad. I don't know if you guys have butter chicken. If you ever had it, it's pretty good, actually. It's like chicken curry over rice. I like it. You like Giddey over fantasy score? I saw Giddey's lines they were back up in like the 40s, which is where they typically are when he's fully healthy. Yeah, it's at 40. What have his minutes been like? I'm pretty sure he's off his minutes limit now. So the last few games, let's see. He's been at 34 minutes, 33 minutes, 32 minutes. Okay. So that's definitely good. Let's look at games this year when he plays at least like 30 minutes. So with at least 30 minutes, I mean, Giddey's averaging, 38.7 PRA per game. Now, he's not performing at the same rate that he was earlier in the season. Like, he was crushing earlier in the season. He's not been that productive as of late. But typically, Giddey's a really productive player when he gets minutes. He does everything, scores, rebounds, gets assists. I feel like 40 is a good line on Giddey. Maybe I'd look at like his PRA. His PRA is at 33.5. I feel like I'd be more likely to bet that than I would be fantasy. I feel like Giddey's typically not like a big steals and blocks guy. He can turn the ball over too. Maybe I would take PRA instead of fantasy. If PrizePicks has PRA up, yeah. But then, like, yeah, so this game against OKC, he went over fantasy, but he didn't go over PRA, so maybe not. I don't know. That feels like a good line, though. Feels like a good line on Giddey. But now that he is playing full minutes, I'd be more willing to bet overs. Also, they're playing the Warriors who are on a back-to-back. Like, this definitely could be a spot where, Chicago's able to put up some points. Gucci says supper over dinner. Yeah, I can't remember who it was that day, but I said something about supper, and he was like, who still says supper these days? So I got to start saying dinner now. You like Jaylen Brown for 25.5 points? Let's see. So last two games with Tatum, he has gone under. He's also kind of shot the ball poorly. 7 for 17, 9 for 17. This is definitely good to see. Jaylen Brown does score a lot of his points is like from pull up, and the Spurs are the worst defense in the league defending pull up. So that's good for Jaylen Brown. This is not good though. Spurs are really good in transition, really good in isolation. They don't give up a lot of free throws. Looking at his shooting zones, you don't see a lot of green except, in the mid-range. I feel like 25.5 is probably a good line. I don't love that one on Jaylen Brown. Maybe maybe this is the game though that he gets going. I feel like with Tatum back though, that definitely hurts Brown a little bit. I mean, you can look at last season with Tatum and without Tatum. With Tatum, Brown averaged 22 points per game. Without 24. Like, his scoring definitely goes up. So it's not surprising to see his scoring come down the last few games with Tatum back. And as Tatum just starts to play more minutes, I mean, that's going to hurt Brown's scoring. Thoughts on Donovan Clingan fantasy? I don't know with Clingan, man. Like, Clingan, he is a really productive player when he gets minutes, but his minutes can just really fluctuate. Especially when they have Robert Williams, because Robert Williams is a good backup center. And they'll definitely play him over Clingan. Like last game, it was I think it was somewhat of a close game. Who did they play? They played the Pacers, I thought. Oh, I'm looking at last season. Yeah, so last game against the Pacers, I mean, he only played 24 minutes. Like, he can just have these games where he only gets like 23, 24 minutes, and Robert Williams plays more. I don't love the matchup either. Charlotte's been pretty good. I mean, you could look at all this red. Like, Charlotte's the best defense in the league, limiting putbacks. Second best limiting points to pick and roll them in. Don't give up much spot up points. Don't give up many free throws. Like, that's not good for Klingen. Charlotte's been pretty good limiting points within 10 feet, less than 10 feet. You can see the matchup stats over here. Look at all this red. Like, that's just not good for Klingen. I think it comes down to minutes, though. Like, if he plays like 30 minutes, I would say even in a bad matchup, he goes over 30.5 fantasy. But his minutes have just been so volatile that, like, especially in a tough matchup, I'll just stay away on Klingen. But if I knew the minutes were going to be there, I would like it. Also, I'm going back to Diabate PA after some down games. Good matchup versus slow Klingen. I don't hate that. I like Jalen Wells on fantasy points. Books have him favored over 17.5 PRA. You could look that way. Someone did ask about his fantasy earlier. I think it was at 19. I will say that Wells, I said this earlier, like Wells is one of those players that his PRA and his fantasy are probably going to be, those are going to be very close pretty much every game because he just doesn't really get like steals and blocks. Where's O'Neal fantasy at 20.5? What do you think? I think right now I think Grayson Allen's questionable for the Suns. Is he questionable? Yeah, Grayson Allen's questionable. If Grayson Allen doesn't play, I'll feel better about that. But I do like the matchup for Royce. Royce is a big catch and shoot guy, and the Bucks have given up a ton of catch and shoot this year. They give up a lot of threes as well. It's definitely a good spot for Royce to be able to score. He's going to get some open looks from three for sure. Just got to hope he makes them. KD points at 24.5. Thoughts? That feels like a good line to me. Given the matchup, Raptors really good defensively. Obviously, the taco at 17.5 looks good, but yeah, the regular line, I wouldn't touch that one. Thoughts on Giddey over 16.5 rebounds and assists? I don't hate that. Now that Giddey's playing like 33, 34 minutes, obviously there's upside on all of his props. Again, Warriors on a back-to-back. I think it could be a spot where the Bulls have some success scoring. Would you go under on Trey Jones fantasy? Trey Jones had been starting lately. Is he? I want to say he's still starting. Colin Sexton's questionable, so probably not. Like I don't think I would take any unders there because if Colin Sexton gets ruled out, you're not going to feel good about that under on Trey Jones. If Colin Sexton's playing, then yeah, I'd be fine taking it. But the line could be a little bit inflated because of Sexton being questionable. So that's anytime there's like a questionable guy, I typically don't want to bet into that unless I have a good feel on if the player is going to play or not, which in this scenario with Sexton, I just don't know. Add some spice to that butter chicken if you can take the heat. Yeah, I'm not a spice guy. I am not a spice guy. Like, I want mild salsa. I want, barbecue wings. Like, don't give me buffalo. Don't give me hot sauce. Like, I'm the most mild guy there is. I just can't. I don't know. I don't see how people can enjoy spicy food. Like, it doesn't even taste good. Your lips are on fire. Your mouth is burning. Like, there's no way you're actually enjoying the food. I don't get it. Okay, Grayson Allen is available to play. Bobby Portis is out. What about Jericho Sims? Portis and Sims are out. Play this now. I can't play it because I've already used the KD taco, but play this now. Play it with whatever you can play it with. KD taco. Oh, is the ant taco up? Yes, it's up. Oh my god. Let me get this. I got it. Let's go. Play that. Hurry. That's a really good play. Especially the Miles Turner one. Miles Turner should really benefit here. I'm going to try and get some shit in on Sleeper before they pull the lines. Got something in. Okay. Nice. Y'all should have all been able to get this. They're leaving this up longer than I expected. I think it's because it's fantasy score. But, like, dude, Turner really benefits here. It looks like, are they starting to pull? Najee Marshall's also starting for the Mavericks. Honestly, I like this too. You could throw this in there. I think that's a good play. Najee Marshall starting, 24.5 fantasy. Yeah, I like that. We're getting like all the lineups right now. Nets will start Traore, Powell, MPJ, Clowney, Claxton. Wizards will start Carrington, Johnson, Riley, Koulibaly, Sarr. Okay. Dude, we just got like so much news. The 7 o'clock injury report must have had like everything. But yeah, this is a good play too. If you want to do, man, if you want to do like a 2-pick, I like this 2-pick a lot. This is definitely a really valuable 2-pick. I'm going to play this. I think I've already played 5 lineups today. Yeah. The most I can play is $5 lineups. But yeah, I can't play this, but I really like this, guys, if you want to tail this too. Heat will start Mitchell, Jakunis, Larson, Gardner, Adebayo. So that's good. So Gardner is starting for our over there. Let me see. I mean, Najee was already projecting decently off the bench. Now that he's starting, you would think he's going to play at least like a couple extra minutes. And then the Miles Turner play. I mean, I love that Miles Turner play. Miles Turner has cost me a lot of money this year. I've been wrong on Miles Turner a ton. But my God, without Sims and without Bobby Portis, like if Miles Turner doesn't go over 22.5 fantasy, like he might be the worst NBA player in the league. Because he should play 25 minutes minimum here. Because they're running out of bigs at this point. I mean, the only bigs they have right now are Giannis and Miles Turner. I mean, they have... I guess they can play Kuz at the 5. They could play Ousmane Dieng at the 5, but... yeah, Turner should play a lot here. Really, really like the slate. This, if you're betting this, like this would probably be like a full unit for me, for sure. Obviously, the taco slips, you know, you can only play a certain amount on those, but this you could do like a full unit. Also, if anybody in my Discord's in here, you can post these in the Discord too. Sometimes I just forget to do it when I'm on stream. And sometimes it's too late, but this one is still available. The fact that these lines are still available is concerning. Like, I figured PrizePicks would have bumped these very quickly. They'll get bumped by the time the game starts, but they're not bumping them right away. I mean, let's see if they move Turner's lines at all. His lines are still the same. I'm very surprised about... oh, they're bumping now. But a lot of his lines didn't move. They're probably just waiting for the market to update. Let's see. Like, wow. They haven't moved these lines on Turner at all. At least I looked at Sleeper. Sleeper still has them at the same numbers. Maybe I'm overreacting, but Sims and Portis being out is like a really big deal for Miles Turner. Let me check DraftKings. What the hell? Okay, there it goes. DraftKings probably doesn't have the lines available, if I had to guess. Yeah. All the Bucks props are off of DraftKings. Once DraftKings updates their lines, PrizePicks will update. But right now, you know, PrizePicks are just kind of waiting to see what the sportsbooks do. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to hop out of here. I'm going to end the stream here. We got some great plays tonight, man. I feel good about all these plays. Hopefully these all hit. We can make some money tonight. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. It was a good stream today. A lot of fun. Got some good slips in. Thanks to everyone who tuned in, asked questions. Felt like we were, had a lot of questions in the chat. So yeah, let's hope we can win some money tonight, guys. I will see you guys hopefully in the stream tomorrow. Should be live tomorrow. I think it's a smaller slate tomorrow, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, only 6 games tomorrow, but 7:30 Eastern start time. So I'll probably go live at like 7 tomorrow, 7 Eastern. And of course, we'll answer questions, talk through the slate, try and find some plays, try and snipe some value, and make some money. Until then, peace out, guys. Good luck tonight.